A warm welcome and wish you all a happy learning. The concept that we are going to study today is Kotter's 8 phases of change. This concept was brought about by John Kotter, who is a graduate from MIT and Harvard. He is a former professor of Harvard Business School. He is considered an authority on leadership and change. In fact, his bestseller, Leading Change, has sold millions and millions of copies. Someone who is considered as a doyen of leadership and change management. I use the word change management, which means in today's world, we need to embrace change because change is the only thing which is constant. Change is the only thing which is permanent. Let's watch a video on this.
Modern organizations face constantly varying market conditions, customer demands, technologies, input costs, and competition. They must adapt to these shifting forces to avoid being eaten up. Change management is managing the impact that these crucial adaptations can have on an organization's people. 4 typical responses to change are the critic who opposes the change, the victim who panics, the bystander who ignores the change, and the navigator who's empowered to work with changing circumstances. The challenge for managers is to help people become navigators.
Wow, that was a fascinating video. Fascinating because we all grapple with change. Change which come from technology, change which come from input cost, change which happens just like that. So, we can either be people who can be a critic, who can oppose the change, or we can be a victim who actually, grapples with the change, or we can be a bystander who simply ignores the change, or we can be a navigator who embraces the change, who advocates the change. This precisely is the very base of Kotter's 8 phases of change. He was advocating leading the change rather than simply managing the change, and therefore the very first aspect of Kotter's 8 phases of change is to create navigators of change. The 8 phases are a systematic approach to the change process itself, because it's a tool which tells you step by step how the change has to be led and therefore managed. It's a concept which helps not only achieve the successful change but also sustainable change. A change, for it to happen, is nice, but for it to maintain, for it to be long lasting, is something that is so essential, and that is what Kotter was advocating. More importantly, it helps you avoid pitfalls during the change process. So whatever dilemmas we face, it helps you to avoid. And it is not only leading, of course, to maintain the change also, and this is how the link could be created between people and the technology process, which will help map the qualities and insights with the goals. That is the essence of Kotter's 8 phases. Let's quickly understand what are these phases.